Going to Australia, now let's have a look at that. If someone would have said to you in 1964 in England that you were going to go to Australia, the first thought is, where is it? Where is Australia? I mean, America was the dream. We only knew America because pop music came from America. So that's all we thought of. We were the first band, and you know, before the Beatles, we did the show before the Beatles, and that was the first time we played Maria from the West Side Story with flute. I mean, very out for a rock and roll concert. What I remember of it was a very big stone, concrete kind of place. It was like an old power station turned into a hall, and it had a beautiful sound, and the flute and everything. It tore the audience up. Then we finished with William Tell, and it went great. Of course, everyone was going more and more. We walked off, and John was standing just in the wings, and he said, "Great, thanks, guys. We got to go on after that." So that was the kind of relationship we had. It was very good. So going on stage before them was always exciting for us, because it was like, wow, you know, the audience is going to be great. When you go on stage with an audience hyped to that level, if you can give them what you've got and it's good, they're going to go with you. I mean, as I said, we played Maria. Hey, who plays Maria at a Beatles concert? You know, we're talking about do 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 do. I'm very classically based, and the audience will go with us because the feeling was there. Once we got on stage and contacted the audience, we were safe and rolling. And once they started to roll with us, I get the feeling, as we did in England, I get the feeling that the people were willing us on because they knew what was coming, and the excitement was palpable in the air. You could feel it. Coming into Adelaide was quite extraordinary. We'd never seen anything like that. I mean, we toured England and we were on a coach, and you got out, and there were people outside would want to scream and holler, but it was never like that. It was never hordes. I mean, the whole city, and I guess people from the countryside around must have gone. The roads, which it was like we would see in England if you had a coronation. You know, it was just extraordinary. We were sitting in these cars. I remember because we were actually in the motorcade this time. We got to ride in it, and we're just looking out the windows going, my God, what is it about this place? Is this going to be like this? This is crazy. And the same with the town hall, you know, the people, the whole place was chock-a-block with people of all persuasions. It didn't matter, old, young, in between, infirmed, you know, everybody was there to have a look at the Beatles. Quite extraordinary, quite extraordinary. Jimmy Nicol, a lucky boy. For Jimmy, his problem was that as soon as he got hired, and you're a hired hand, when you're a hired hand, you do the right thing, you wait your turn, and you appreciate the situations you're in. Unfortunately for Jimmy, he thought he was a Beatle right off. He would come into a room, press conference, sit down at the front, answer questions. Anywhere he would walk in, we'd be going to a reception, he would walk in, be up front. Instead of waiting a little, sitting back and waiting for the guys, which they would do, because they're that kind of people. Hey, Jimmy, come on, you know, be part of this. He really pushed himself, and it didn't sit well. He just made the wrong moves. If he'd have been a little more inside the idea of what he was doing, he would have ended up getting a recording contract, being looked after, and given a group to use. I'm quite sure the boys in Epi would have done all that for him. But instead of that, he got a slight payment, a gold watch, and never heard of Jimmy again. It was quite a crazy time, but they were wonderful people. People forget that. I think because of the mystique, and hindsight is a dangerous thing with a lot of this stuff, because they were just really good, ordinary people who expected maybe if they had a hit record, might last a couple of months, you know, and it'd be good fun and have a great time. And that would be life. Like I said, then you go back to doing whatever you did in your life. But look at it now, you know, it's 50 years since we came to Australia, and I don't know, I'm amazed. I still play music. I mean, I'm aghast at that. I mean, Paul still plays music. The Stones still tour. All that era is still incredibly alive and vital. I wouldn't mind betting that most school kids know those names. The Stones, the Beatles. Who else 50 years later? I mean, Elvis, yeah. It starts to get thin on the ground then. World changing, time changing. Post Beatles, a different world, totally different world.